In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this simple nail slide, but with a twist. The tools you'll be needing for this part is your leather, your ruler, your pen, your scissors, sharp and blunt, your gum brush, your gum, your glue, your paper, and your lining leather. First, you'll be measuring the back part of your slide where you'll be needing your length in 27 centimeter and your width in 5 centimeter. You draw a line like this, like how I'm doing in the video, and then you cut it out. Here we have two pieces for our back part. The length is 27 centimeter by 5 centimeter width. Next, we'll be cutting the part that we'll use in attaching our iron as shown in the picture. And for this, I'll be needing a width of 3 centimeter and a length of 18 centimeter for the longer part, which is what I'm drawing here. I'll also be needing a width of 3 centimeter and a length of 14 centimeter for the shorter part where I'll be attaching my pin, which is what I'm also drawing out here in the video. For my toe part, I'll also be needing a pattern for it. So here I'm just drawing out a length of about 8 centimeter and then a width of 4 centimeter, and from that 4 centimeter mark I'm taking out 1 centimeter from each side of the mark of the 4 centimeter, and I'm drawing out a line to connect all the dots. So 4 minus 2, that's 2 centimeter. I'm left with 2 centimeters. So I'm going to draw a circle on the top part of the pattern to get my toe section, which is what I'm cutting out here, as you can see in the video. After cutting it out, this is what I have for my toe part that I'll be using. So I'm just using the rough sandpaper to smoothen the edges of the pattern. So after that, I'm going to be drawing my pattern on my leather. I already had one pattern that I drew out, so I'm going to be using that one, and that's what I'm out here. I'm just following the lines, like using my biro to draw around the edge. And for this, I'll be needing 2 pieces, and this is what I have drawn. So I'll be going ahead to cut out the 2 pieces for my toe part. And these are all the pieces I've cut out for my pattern. The next, I'll be attaching it to my lining layer, which is what I'm doing here, as you can see in the video. So I'm just going to be marking where I'll be applying gum on it, applying my gum to the lining and also to the upper part of the leather. After the gum is dry, I'm just checking to see if it's still sticky, and since it's not sticky, I'm going to be placing my cut out pans on my lining leather, like how I'm doing in the video, and then I'll be hammering it to make them very stapled. There's a word, to make them cement well together, and then I'm going cutting it out with a sharp scissors. I'm using a sharp scissors for this particular section. I'm done cutting, and this is what I have for my upper. Next, I'm going to be attaching my rings, and this is what I'll be using. I'll be removing that inner part like this, and I'll be attaching it to either side of the ring using one short length and one long length, like this, like what I'm doing in the video. And this is what I have after attaching it. I'll be attaching it to the upper part of the foot, the back part like this, and I'll sew it like what we're doing in the video here. After sewing, this is what I have after sewing, and this is what I'm going to be using. And for this part, we're going to be using our foreign sew, our Macho 2mm, our welt, our scissors, gum, and leather. For this part, we are going to be scratching the surface of our foreign sew using our rough sandpaper to allow gum stick well. I'm also scratching the surface of our Macho 2mm for the same reason. Here I'm marking out where I want to apply gum so that I will not over apply the gum. So I'm just applying gum on the surface of the foreign sew first, making sure that gum is to every part of it so that it will stick well to my Macho 2mm. I'm also applying the gum to my Macho 2mm, stopping at where I marked initially and making sure to apply the gum very well. I'm going to allow it to dry while I scratch the surface of my welt, also so it can adhere to gum very well. After the gum is dry, I'm going to be placing my foreign sew on my Macho 2mm, and I'm going to cut it out exactly at the edge of the foreign sew. So I'm just hammering it to make sure it cements together very well. After that, I'm cutting it out. After cutting it out, I'm going to be smoothing edges round with my rough sandpaper to make everything smooth together before I will scratch the surface of the Macho. And then I'm going to, after scratching the surface, I'm going to be applying my gum on the edge so that I can stick my welt to it. So I'm going to be applying gum on the surface of the foreign sew and also on the rough surface of my welt, like I'm doing here. After allowing it to dry, I'm going to be sticking the welt to the edge of the foreign sew like you see me doing here. I'm just making sure that everything aligns at the edge together, and that's what I'm going to do round for both legs. Here I'm just going to be using my glue to stick those joint edges together so that they stay together and not come off, while I do the same for the other leg, which is making sure that the welt and my foreign sew aligns together, or my sew aligns together very well, and I will do it round. after I'm done with my sew, I'm going to be hammering on the welt to cement it to the sew very well. I'm going to make sure that, oh, I actually hammered on my hand here. Oh my god, please be careful when you are doing this so you don't hammer on your hand. It's very painful. So after that, I'm going to be using my macho 6mm, the bouncing macho 6mm. That's what it's called in the Nigerian market. So I'm going to place my foreign sew on it like this and hammer around for it to create a line, and I'm going to cut directly on that line like what I'm doing here, making sure to cut directly on the line so that I don't have any mistakes. So I'm placing it to check if it fits into my sew. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other leg. I'll place it on it like this and then hammer it round so that the lines from my welt will show on my macho, and then I'm going to cut directly on the line. After this, I'm going to take my sew to my filing machine to file the edges and make it smooth and even all around. So here I'm creating the insole, and I'm going to be using my leather and my macho 6mm for this. I'm going to be wrapping it round. I'm just checking how much of it I want to wrap around, so I'm marking it out and I'm leaving some lines so that I'll be able to wrap it round for the other leg too. I'm marking it out. I'm going to apply gum on the surface of my mouth and also on the surface of my leather, which is what I'm doing here. Applying the gum to my leather, making sure to apply even outside the line, excessively outside the line, not too far from the line though. But you can see what I'm doing. I'll wait for it to dry, then I'm playing it together exactly on the line that I'm out. After that, I'm going to add some gum on the so that I can wrap round the macho. After this, I'm going to be cutting it, leaving some spaces in between like how I'm doing here. After cutting out, I'm going to wrap it round like how I'm doing in the view here. This part is not so clear. I'm going to make a separate video showing you how to wrap an insole. I think I also have that video on my channel that shows how to wrap an insole. So I'm just hammering it. After wrapping it, I'm hammering it for it to stick. I'm done with both legs. Now the next, for this step, I'll be starting with the toe part. Here I want my knitted row to be, so I'm going to be using my puncher to make a hole on that toe pattern that we created and I'm going to be marking the same thing on the second leg and also making a hole. I'll be using a shoe lace to make a hole on the of my pattern, a top hole, and I'm going to be marking that hole and punching it out with my punch, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other leg as well and punch it out with my puncher. Here I'm just passing the knitted rope through I created to form like a toe ring where the toe will be. So I'm using my lace to lace this. I'm making a size 41, so I'm using a lace in the exact size that I'm making. So if you're making a 42, you use a 42 lace. If you're making a 39, you use a 30 lace. So I'm just trying to align it to the part of my elastic serves like as a soft leg. So I'm just aligning it to the part of the leg that you would be. So I'm marking second foot, and I'm going to do the same thing I did for the first, also on the second foot. After lasting, this is what we have. The next step is to join it together. So here I'm just applying my sole, the both legs of my sole, and also applying gum to the upper part of my shoe, like I'm doing like this, so that I can join both the sole and the upper together. And I'm just applying the gum very well so that it would adhere together tightly, like to cement strongly together. So I'm going to allow it to dry. After drying, I'm going to put them together. So here I'm just trying to put them fit in the sole and the upper together. Make sure that everything is smooth and nice. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll do the same thing for the other leg. After that, I'm going to hammer it very well to make sure that the upper the sole cements well together, so it come off when the owner wears it, which is what I'm doing. After that, this is what we have. Yay! Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment on what more designs you would like to see. Bye.